Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching this video. This is an advanced lesson, so little to no Portuguese. I hope you are all well. I hope you have had a nice week. I have had a very busy week. I normally film these lessons on like Wednesday or Thursday, and today is Saturday. I did 2 yesterday and now I'm doing yours today. So yeah, bit last minute. There's been a lot going on. But anyway, I hope you all had a lovely week and let's get started. So today's lesson is on confusing words, okay? So what I mean by that is words that are easily confused one with another, okay? Now there are lots, but I had a big think and a big look at all of the lists that are considered to be confusing, and I chose the most common ones, okay? So there are some others, but I don't think they're as common. Or, for example, it's and it's. That comes under confusing words, but you guys are pretty advanced, so I would hope that you would know this one, yeah? It's from it is, and it's from, I wanted to say bossy then, possession. It's difficult sometimes for me to switch into English because I actually speak Portuguese quite a lot at home because my flatmate is Brazilian. So anyway, yeah. So, I mean, that counts as a confusing word, but it's not on the list because I assume you guys know that. So I think I've picked the best ones, okay? So I think I've got 10 examples to show you, all right? So I'm going to jump straight in. So today we are doing confusing words, okay? Yeah, I'm going to jump straight in. I was going to say something then and I forgot. If I remember, I will tell you. Okay, so first of all, yes, I remembered what I was going to say. So this actually is in a lot of Cambridge exams, C1 and C2, okay? They test you on this in a funny way. They'll say like, put the right word in the paragraph and they'll give you 2 confusing options, okay? Also TOEFL sometimes, it's about level 7, 8 TOEFL this lesson, okay? Yeah, so just so you're aware, important. Yeah, okay, so we're starting with actually and currently, okay? So this one is confusing for you as Portuguese speakers because actually for you is atualmente, no momento, yeah? But for us, it's not, okay? So currently for us is at the moment or now, nowadays, okay? You could actually say at the moment as well. You could use currently or at the moment. Currently is better, it's a nicer word, okay? At the moment is very everyday, we use it a lot too, okay? And actually is like in fact, yeah? So it's like in fact, so it's like you're correcting something that happened, yeah? Or you said, or, okay? So let's have a look at some examples. Number 1, she is something working. I just remembered someone said to me on Instagram that they can't understand my writing, so I'm going to try and write very nicely. With her brother until she moves abroad. Okay, so that's number 1. I'm going to give you one example for each. Abroad is to a different country. Yeah. 2, is this your boss? Is this your boss? Okay, so maybe you see someone with someone next to them and you say, is this your boss? And they say, no, this is something my assistant. Okay, so have a little look at those and see if you can guess, well not guess, see if you can find out, discover the correct answer for each. So which word would we use in each? Okay, so pause if you need to think. And then we have, she is currently, okay? Because it's at the moment, it's until she moves abroad. So at the moment she's working with her brother, but then after she won't be. So currently, at the moment. And is this your boss? No. This is actually my assistant. Actually, do you know what? This is actually my assistant. You could also say, no, actually, You could use either here, okay? No, actually, this is my assistant. No, this is my assistant, actually. No, this is actually my assistant. No, actually, this is my assistant. They're all fine, okay? So, actually and currently, nice. Moving on, number 2. Specially and especially. This is a good one. So, specially and especially. Ooh. Okay. So, specially is for a specific purpose. Okay, there is a specific reason. Oh, written purpose wrong. Purpose. Okay, a specific reason. Yeah. It might help if you remember the word like special, like a special purpose or reason, specific. Yeah. Even though this has the word special, this one starts with the word special. Yeah, and especially means like above all or the most, on top of. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a little look at some examples. It's really expensive to go abroad. Ah, that's that nice little word again. So that means to go to a different country, yeah? Something in the holidays. And number 2, the cake was made for the party. Okay, so have a little think, pause if you need to. I'm going to crack on and give you the answer. So it's really expensive to go abroad, especially in the holidays. It's always expensive, but on top of that, above all, the most expensive in the holidays. So especially, okay? And number 2, the cake was made for the party. So it was made specially. Remember I said kind of think of the word special, yeah? It's a specific purpose. It was for the party, okay? Now that one you guys tend to swap a lot. Actually, to be honest, some of these, even English people swap, yeah? So it's quite tough. Moving on. I bet you're curious about which ones are coming. Especially is a good one. Okay, this is not too difficult, but you guys do get this wrong a lot, okay? So history and story, yeah? History is an event in the past, something that happened a long time ago, okay? Now, a story can also be something that happened in the past, but it's the way you tell it, yeah? It's a narration. A narrative, yeah? It's a fairy tale. Conto de fadas, a fairy tale, yeah? Not always, but... Okay, look how we spell tale. A fairy tale, yeah? A narration. It's in a book. It's a story. A film quite often is a story, okay? So, number 1, I love studying ancient. And number 2, I always tell, oops, not all, always, my son before bed. Okay, this one I think is a little bit more obvious, but it's definitely good to put it on the list. So I love studying ancient. Ancient is the clue. History. And I always tell my son a story before bed. Okay? You're not going to tell your child a history before bed. Well, you might, but it would be like, it's a subject. It's like maths or English, yeah? You're not going to do a bit of maths before bed. Well, maybe. Yeah. So I always tell my son a story before bed. Or you could say, oh my gosh, everyone was listening. She was telling a story, yeah? I walked into work. Everyone was around the boss. He was telling a story, something that happened. He's not going to be telling history at work, is he? Yeah? Okay, next. Ooh, this one is difficult, I think. Do you know, when I was younger, when I was like a teenager and I was still studying, I had difficulty with this one. And again, I think a lot of English people get these wrong. I'm sure they do. Okay, so affect and effect. And this is the sort of thing that they might test you on in Cambridge or TOEFL at high level, okay? Affect and effect, okay? So first of all, verb, noun. That is the biggest difference, okay? So just think about that. To affect and an effect. They're pronounced the same. Affect, effect, okay? So I've put here result and here to act on, but to be honest, their meanings are pretty similar. It's just one is a verb, so it's something you do or happens, and one is an abstract noun, so it's a result, it is a thing, yeah? So, how has coronavirus, corona, you? Okay, so that's a question. And number 2, what are the of regular exercise? Okay, so pause if you need to, and I'm going to go through it. So how has coronavirus affected you? We actually pronounce it I just did the to show you. Affected. How has coronavirus affected you? Okay, how has the economic crisis affected you? How has the government affected you? Yeah? Okay. And then what are the effects? So that if you go back to results, yeah? What are the effects of regular exercise? What are the effects of depression? How does depression affect you? You see, I swapped that. So what are the effects of depression? How does depression affect you? Yeah, verb noun. Okay, moving on. I like this lesson actually. I think it's really useful. We've got a nice one now. Slightly easier, but again, very confusing. And lots of English people get it wrong. Desert and dessert. Okay, look at the emphasis on the word there. So it's desert, dessert. Yeah, desert, dessert. And the difference is one S. Okay, so here we are talking about the hot places full of sand, for example, the Sahara. And here we are talking about something sweet after a meal. Okay, pudding. Yeah? So this is quite an easy example, but just to confirm, it rarely rains in the, and I rarely indulge in, that's a good word. Indulge is when you do something almost naughty, but it's good. You indulge in something, you treat yourself, okay? So it rarely rains in the desert. Look at the stress. And I rarely indulge in dessert. Okay, got it? Moving on. This is another difficult one coming up. Okay, accept and accept. Ooh, nasty. Okay, so to accept is like to receive something. And accept is when you leave something out. Deixa algo de fora. Vocês falam fora muito. Just fora. Fora tal coisa. Yeah, so you leave something out, okay? And accept is to receive. So actually these two, they are confusing, but they are very different meanings. Yeah? Okay, so let's have a look. I eat everything potatoes. I love potatoes actually. potatoes, okay? And he, the job offer. Okay, so have a little think, pause if you need to. I eat everything except, you could say, I don't have any allergies except, yeah? Except, okay? And he accepted the job offer. So when you accept something, it's when you are given it, you receive it, you accept it, okay? Good, right, moving on. Okay. Proceed and proceed. What? Actually, I've put 2 examples here in my planning, but I'm going to change one of the examples because I'm going to give you an idiom which uses one of these. Okay, so your reputation, you. This is an idiom in English, okay? Or an expression. If you, with this case, it will go to court. Okay, so pause if you need to, have a little think. And then number 1, your reputation precedes you. Okay, that's an expression that we use, and it can be for good or bad, but we generally use it more bad. Okay, so let's say your son is really naughty at school and they meet a new teacher. So a new teacher starts, the teacher might say, hello, so you're Oscar, your reputation precedes you. What it means is that basically you have a reputation. And I said generally a bad one. It can be very good as well, but generally we use it in that kind of in a negative way, yeah? So you could say, I've heard about you. We say a lot as well, I've heard a lot about you. You say that in Portuguese as well, actually, I think. So I've heard a lot about you. Your reputation precedes you is more like, oh, shit. They've heard about me. They've heard bad things, okay? And if you proceed with this case, it will go to court, okay? Court is justiça. It is where the jury sit and the judge, okay? That is court. So if you proceed, if you keep going, in fact, I did all of this and then I didn't do this bit at the top, did I? So proceed is when it comes before you. It'll make more sense now. And proceed is when you keep going. Okay, so you continue. So this will make more sense now, sorry. So if you proceed, if you keep going, if you continue with this case, it will go to court. And then back to your reputation precedes you, so it comes before you. Yeah? Okay, next. Sight and sight. Hey, maybe you've never seen sight actually, and you would write it wrong because a lot that happens a lot. A lot of people do that. So to cite is to say what someone has said, okay? And then site is a web page or a place. Can you hear Oscar in the background? Chi is looking after him and I can hear him going, Money! He's fine, but I'm just like, shh. Anyway, okay, so something someone has said on a web page or a place, yeah? We can say a tourist site or see the sights is a very common expression. We say, oh, I'm going out today, I'm going to see the sights, okay? It's like important places, yeah? In fact, site in general is an important or specific place, okay? You wouldn't say, where are you going? I don't know, any site. You wouldn't say that, okay? Building site is specific, yeah? So this is the where I proposed. And number 2, oh, I'll just on. I was careful not to his exact words. Okay, I think in Portuguese, your word for sight in this context also starts with a C, yeah? So this is the, pause if you need to, site where I propose. So propose is when you get down on one knee, when you ask somebody to marry you, you are proposing, okay? Nice. So we would use site there because it's an important place, it's a specific place, it's where you proposed. You could say this is the place where I proposed, it will be fine. Site's just a little bit stronger, a little bit more specific, yeah? And I was careful not to cite his exact words, okay? Quite often at the end of an article or something, there it says citations and it says whatever website, whatever person, yeah? Okay, moving on. I like this next one. Still got 3 left. Oops. Oh no. Okay, so compliment and compliment. Yeah, so E, I. And look at the pronunciation. Complement, compliment. Oh my God. Complement, compliment, compliment, compliment. Olha a minha boca no final. Complement, compliment. Okay? So, complement is to finish or add something. We use it more to add something, actually. It's like when something matches, it goes well together, it complements, yeah? And compliment is when you say something nice to someone or something, okay? Say something nice to someone or something, okay? So, I always go red when I receive I before E. Oh, I just went to show you something, I did it wrong. Receive compliments. Oh, I've just given you the answer. Oh my God. Okay. I was thinking about the word receive and I went crazy. I'm so sorry. Okay. And 2, this wine really, this steak. Okay. So I always go red when I receive, you saw the answer now, compliments. Yeah, I feel embarrassed. I feel shy when I receive compliments. Yeah. And this wine really complements. So it adds something. This steak, or maybe it finishes the dish well. It adds something, okay? Finishes, adds something. All right? In fact, in restaurants quite often, or more posh restaurants, where you say, oh, I think I'll have the fish. You say, would you like some wine? You can say, which wine complements the fish? It's like which one goes well, which one adds something, adds flavour. Okay? So last but not least, 2 more. It's not last, actually. It's the last page for me. We have... this is another difficult one. Emigrate and immigrate. Okay, now careful because there's 2 M's here and there's only 1 here. So emigrate, immigrate, all right? So to emigrate is to move away from somewhere, a place or city or a country, okay? And immigrate is to move into a place, a city, a country, okay? So let's have a little look at the sentences. We have, she loves London. She from Brazil. We spelled Brazil with a Z, okay? And 2, she to London 5 years ago. Happened before, yeah? 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 days ago. So pause if you need to, have a think. She loves London, she emigrated. Okay, so the key word here is from, yeah? She emigrated from Brazil, okay? And she immigrated to London 5 years ago. And the key word here is to. She moved into, okay? So these sentences can mean kind of the same thing. You could say she loves London. She emigrated from Brazil 5 years ago. It's from Brazil to London. So where was it from? Where was it to? Okay? So now, last but not least, and this one is British English, okay, guys? I'm not sure about Canadian, Australian, American. I think they use with an S. But anyway, I'm going to teach you British English. So here we go. Practice and practice. They are exactly the same pronunciation. The difference is the C and the S, okay? So here, like with effect, we have a noun and a verb. That is the difference. That's the difference, okay? One is a noun, one is a verb. So that's very important. So let's have a look at the examples. You need a lot of to talk well or speak well, I could have put. I think speak is better in that sentence actually. To speak well. And number 2, you need to every day. Okay, so have a little think, pause if you need to. You need a lot of practice to speak well. Okay, so a lot of practice, it's a thing, it's a noun. Practice in itself, yeah, as like an object, an abstract noun actually, which is last lesson, yeah. And you need to practice every day. And a little tip here, if you look, to generally comes before verbs, doesn't it? Okay, so they're quite similar sentences, and I did that on purpose for you to see how easy it can be to confuse them, which is why this lesson is called Confusing Words. Okay, and we finished with practice, but I will tell you, practice, okay? If you find any of these confusing, practice them. Obviously, I'll give you the homework and the exercises, but what I used to do when I was studying, when I was learning, is I would get something like this, or even to this day, actually, occasionally. You need a lot of practice to speak well. You could say you need a lot of practice to anything, yeah? I don't know, to run 10 kilometers or you could say something like she has been doing a lot of practice, yeah? And then it's easier to think of it like a noun, because if you think she has been doing a lot of exercise, that can be a noun too, to exercise or exercise in itself. Okay, so try and kind of make those links in your brain, practice, try and make other sentences if you find them difficult, okay? I hope you enjoyed that lesson, guys. I hope it was useful for you. It is very important and it does come up in a lot of tests, okay? And it's difficult, it's confusing. So I hope that helped. I hope you all have a lovely week. That went like that for me, it went very fast. And I will see you all next week. Have a good one.